In this guided visualization, Archangel Metatron takes you on a journey to another planet, one where evolved felines walk upright, wear suits, and do research. That's only one small part of the journey. By the time you return to Earth, you'll have received an expansive lesson about working with your angels as you navigate the Great Shift. Hi, I'm Debbra Lupien, voice of the Akashic Records, bringing you an amazing new guided visualization. Sit back, close your eyes, take a couple of deep, cleansing breaths. With each exhale, feel the cares and worries of the day draining slowly away from your body until you sink into a deeply relaxed state. Archangel Metatron comes floating down from above to stand in front of you. And he says, there is a great deal to talk about. With that, he reaches out, takes your hand, and like a scene right out of Peter Pan, you rise up off the ground and fly together effortlessly. Metatron has only to think of where he wants to be, and off you go. It's one part flying, one part transporter. In the next moment, Metatron is already guiding you gently back down to the ground. As you look around, examining your surroundings, you notice a big sandstone boulder. The ground is dusty, the air is dry. Your vision is entirely filled by the sandstone boulder, which provides no indicator of where you are or if you're even still on Earth. As you process that thought, you realize you're alone. Metatron has disappeared. There's no fear. You know that a message will come. You only need wait quietly, trusting that it will. In the distance, you hear the call of a large bird. Only one bird, only one call. You feel quite peaceful despite the situation. With nothing else to do, you sit down with your back against the boulder to wait. As you look around, there's nothing else in view but the sky. A shiver runs down your spine as you notice this world appears to end a few feet ahead of you. Your mind wanders, trying to make sense of what your eyes are seeing. Then a question pops in. Have I been deposited in a test tube or something? From a distance, Metatron's voice echoes in the small space. You're not wrong. When left in a limited environment, what will you do? At the moment, you're clueless. So you decide to get up and explore this space. You wonder, what happens if I approach the edges of this reality? You get up and walk away from the rock towards the nothingness. When you reach the spot where the dirt ends, you hold out your hand to feel what might be there. Your hand encounters what feels like thick glass. Suddenly, there's a pronounced clicking sound, followed by a spotlight shining on you. Simultaneously, a big curtain drops on the other side of the glass. You're dumbfounded to see what looks eerily like a medical theater with an assemblage of people wearing white coats, looking back at you from the other side. You shudder as a feeling of being studied and disgust washes over you. The room is dimly lit, so the details are more of an impression than an actual visual representation. There's a lecturer standing at the head of the room, male, dressed in a dark blue pinstripe suit. You can't make out what he's saying, but you're gobsmacked when you see that his head is that of a black and white striped cat. He's gesturing with his paws. As he turns, you can see the swish of his tail. Cat people? Or maybe that's arrogant. Evolved cats. The lecturer is speaking, but you can't hear the words as they're muffled by the thick glass of your enclosure. Momentarily flummoxed, you back away from the glass, retreating to the boulder. As you ponder what to do, your attention is drawn to the space beyond the boulder. What you previously missed is that there's a cave back there. You quickly decide to venture into the cave to see what the cats do and to get away from this creepy assemblage. Being treated like a lab specimen really sucks. The interior of the cave is pitch black due to the still shining spotlight washing out the space. You walk tentatively to the opening and peer in. As your eyes adjust to the darkness, you hear a slight buzzing coming from the interior. Your mind races, trying to make sense of this experience. Why would Metatron bring me here? What am I supposed to do? From the depths of your being, the thought echoes. As the creator of your reality, what do you want to do? Talking under your breath, you exclaim, I want to go inside the cave to see what I can see. The cave is dimly lit by a light source emanating from deeply inside. You move slowly and cautiously forward. A short distance inside, you encounter a group of men dressed in long white lab coats. Every one of them has dark eyes and black horn-rimmed glasses. Are they clones, you wonder? No cats here. They're walking around with clipboards or seated at odd-looking desks. Some are talking, some are working on computers, others are looking at TV screens. Every one of them is focused upon their task and barely notice you. When you approach, some look up. Curiously, they don't seem to be surprised to see you. Of course, you exclaim to yourself, they've been monitoring me on those screens. It's time for some answers. What's going on, you ask? What is this place? Why am I here? They look at one another, shrug their shoulders, and go right back to what they were doing. The thought that this is a test of some sort tickles at the fringes of your mind. Suddenly emboldened, you walk around to see what's on their screens. No one moves to stop you. As you now stare at the screen, all you see is static. Greenish white static, like on ancient CRT monitors. You're more confused than ever. Suddenly, the air feels thinner. It's hard to breathe. You turn around to exit the cave, but after 2 steps, collapse into unconsciousness. Of course, you're only unconscious in the vision. It's time to check in with Metatron for guidance. You call out, Metatron, shall I continue the journey, or will you come and escort me out? Metatron indicates that you should proceed. So you turn your focus back to the vision, picking up where you left off. You're feeling groggy, slowly coming to, and now find yourself in a hospital-style bed. The men from the cave, or others like them, are present, still walking around with their clipboards, absorbed in their assigned tasks. You abruptly sit up, and as you do, feel the pull of an IV tube attached to your left hand. The tube is feeding a clear liquid into your vein. Hello, you shout. Can someone please explain to me why I'm here and what's going on? Meanwhile, your brain is busily calculating plan B so that if you don't get a satisfactory answer, you'll pull the IV out and leave. A man who appears to be a doctor approaches with a slight smile. Calm down, he soothes. Everything's going to be all right. You fainted from dehydration, so we're replenishing your fluids. You'll be right as rain in no time. Until then, it's best if you stay calm and allow your respiration to return to normal. The air here is a little thinner than you're accustomed to. You'll need a bit of time to adjust. Where is here? You inquire. Here in the hospital, he evades. Clearly, he knows you meant where, as in what planet. He was just playing coy. You look around for any signs to give you a clue of your whereabouts, but there's nothing. It's all sterile whiteness and horn-rimmed men. The absence of women is discomforting. Do they not have women on this planet? The doctor, hearing your thought, replied, the women folk are home where they should be. Holy crap, you think? Metatron dropped you off in a male-dominated backwards society. But why? That thought no sooner forms than Metatron appears, while the whiteness, along with the doctors, disappeared. Your mind is racing. Why this vision? What could possibly be the point? Then you wisely take a deep breath and wait for Metatron's explanation, which will surely be better than any scenarios you can dream up. Now the vision changes. You and Metatron are seated at a cute little wrought iron table. The top is circular with just enough space for drinks and napkins. Metatron has a glass of liquid that looks like a mango smoothie. You've got a nice soothing cup of tea. It's a relaxed atmosphere where you can breathe freely and process this experience. You sit quietly, gazing at him, waiting for the message. There's always a message. So why should today be different? Even though it was drastically different than you're accustomed to. Metatron quietly looks back at you, waiting. Oh, realization dawns. You have to ask. Angels can't interfere. They must wait to be asked. You would say, duh, except you've stopped speaking to yourself in that unkind manner. With that out of the way, you inquire. So, Metatron, what was the vision of the horn room guys all about? What am I to learn from this experience? Metatron sucks down the last dregs of his smoothie, smacks his lips with an ah, appreciating the delicious refreshment, then puts the glass down and responds. I can see you are filled with questions. Yes, of course there was a purpose to that little excursion. Stay calm in the midst of uncertainty. Keep your wits about you. Consider your options. Formulate a plan. Take action. Ask for help sooner than later. Trust that help will be there the moment you ask. But Metatron, you protest, I know these things. You've demonstrated them often. Ah, he retorts, but even so, you waited a long time to call out for help. Why face the unknown alone? Well, you respond, you placed me there, so I wasn't afraid to begin with. I took it as an opportunity to trust, go with the flow, and allow the message to take shape. Metatron gently scolds. What about when you had trouble breathing? Why didn't you call out then before you fainted? I don't know, actually, you agree. You're right. That would have been a good time to call you, except I knew you were nearby and wasn't terribly concerned. Lovingly, Metatron explains, I never left you, but had to wait for you to ask for help. That was the whole point of this exercise. You hesitated because you felt I was there, but I couldn't help until you asked. Once you lost consciousness, you were at the mercy of the situation. This was a simulation, so there was no danger. But don't you see, in so many instances in your life, ego tells you, you've got this. There's no need to ask for help, even though you would encourage others to ask for help for the tiniest thing. Often ego still holds you back. Wouldn't it have been wiser to call for help the moment you found yourself alone in a foreign place? How about when you discovered it was a test tube? Why linger? You could have called me and gotten out of Dodge before being subjected to scrutiny from the cats. In defense, you explain, well, I have to say, I thought you were telling me a story, so I wanted to go along with it for the experience. Yes, I understand, Metatron says as he amps up the energy. However, you could have gone along with the story and asked for at least one angel to stand with you. This is the point you need to understand. Your world is rapidly changing. You must be prepared to take action sooner, lest you put the whole mission in jeopardy. Call sooner, call often, before you find yourself in a dangerous situation. Why take the risk? That's ego telling you that you don't need intervention. Maybe you won't, but why not take an angel along to be on standby? Just as you ask the angels to be with you while driving, why not ask them to come along with you for other activities? Give your angels the opportunity to serve you as Creator intended. With that final utterance, Metatron departs, leaving you to process the message. Now it's time to return from your journey. Take a couple of deep breaths, wiggle your fingers and toes, bring your consciousness back to present reality. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Okay, now that we're back from that adventure, what I want to leave you with today is the understanding that because of all the work you've done, you're ready for greater responsibility. Thus, Metatron's tone is at times more stern than in the past. The tremendous love and support will never change. It's just that as we move closer to the time of the great shift, more is being and will be asked. Together, dear Lightworker, we will live up to the plan we each had for this journey. Our time is now. We're ready. Let's do this. With much love, until next time, this is Debbra Lupien, voice of the Akashic Records. Bye.